Welcome to my channel, and I can say that I've had a personal experience with this subject, so let's get right to the article. And alarming findings. New study reveals childhood abuse drives 40% of mental health conditions. That's why I made this channel, because I did suffer with abuse, neglect, and so on in my childhood. And it took me down a bad path because I tried to self-medicate with drugs, women, and various other things. And maybe you find yourself there, all right? And I'm here to say there is a way out of all this trauma, but it will have to take some work on your part, okay? I used to drink for 25 years. I stopped drinking in 2020. I'm so happy that I don't drink. I don't have the want to drink. I'm free from that. I used to do all sorts of drugs for 25 years as well. You know, I used to enjoy many women. Didn't matter where, when, what time, it was just there. Okay, so maybe you have some bad habits, like maybe P-Hub, things like that. That was one of my bad habits too. And I no longer do any of the things that I just mentioned. I am thankful that I'm free from lust and all sorts of things. How, right? Well, first, I had to find God. And I'm not here pushing religion. I am here speaking about spirituality, getting to know you. That is the biggest thing here, okay? Is getting to know who you truly are. Know thyself, okay? That's what I'm here to do, is to help you find your way home. Okay, so mental health conditions, all right? So the topics here, it's going to be children, mental health, pediatrics, psychiatry, public health, and the University of Sydney. So this is a study from Australia, okay? But people are people, okay? A study in Australia has revealed that severe impact of childhood maltreatment on mental health, attributing to 40% of major mental health conditions such as anxiety, depression, and self-deletion attempts to such experiences. The research, which used intense national data and robust analytical methods, indicate that addressing childhood maltreatment through comprehensive public health policies and preventive measures could significantly reduce the mental health burden in our country. And we all need that here too. This would not only prevent millions of mental health cases, but also substantially decrease years of life lost to death and disability. Okay, so the thing is, you know, I had to get my life in order, all right? I had to let go of a lot of things that weren't serving me, okay? I had to forgive, not forget, forgive the people that did whatever they did to me, and understand that those people also didn't ask to be abused, okay? And I know that it takes a long time to be here, but there's no better time than right now. If you're suffering from child abuse, neglect, and you're drinking yourself to death, and you're doing drugs, and you're abusing women, and I mean sexually, not like physically abusing them, but the lust, the want, the desire of chasing them down and using them, you know, that's what I'm talking about here. Okay, a study focusing on childhood maltreatment in Australia has uncovered its alarming impact, estimating it causes up to 40% of common lifelong mental health conditions, right? Like depression, anxiety, okay? I found relief through all that by spirituality, by getting to know yourself, by reading, by studying. And guess what? Most people don't want to put in the time that it takes to free yourself from the chains that you put yourself under, okay? I had to let go of a lot of those things. My life is amazing now because I've worked on myself. Okay, I no longer drink, like I mentioned, and I have found freedom, and I want you to find freedom as well. And that's why I made this channel, to help other people who went through abuse. Okay, 2/3 of Americans have gone through this same abuse, like in Australia. People are people. Okay, hurt people, all right? Before the age of 16 through 18, people suffer all sorts of problems. So I know that there's people out there that can, how would you say, find this video helpful. So the mental health conditions examined were anxiety, depression, harmful alcohol, and drug use. I did it. Self-harm. I did it. And deletion attempts. Okay, I never tried that, but anyways, childhood maltreatment is classified as physical, sexual, or emotional abuse, and emotional or physical neglect before the age of 18. Childhood maltreatment was found to account for 41% of self-deletion attempts in Australia. And if you're from Australia listening to this, my heart goes out to you, and I love all of you who are watching this video, because you are worthy of love and kindness and acceptance from yourself. Okay? You deserve love. You deserve to pour love into yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay? There is a way out. Subscribe and all that jazz. 35% of cases of self-harm and 21% of depression. The analysis published in JAMA, G-A-M-A, Psychiatry, is the first study to provide estimates of the proportion of mental health conditions in Australia that rise from childhood maltreatment. The research says the research are a wake-up call for childhood abuse and neglect to be treated as a national public health priority. It should be, okay? And you should make yourself a priority, because you are and you need it, okay? Potential impacts of eradicating childhood maltreatment. The results are devastating and are an urgent call to invest in prevention, not just giving individuals support to children and families, but wider policies to reduce the stress experienced by families. That would really help. So Dr. Lucinda Grummet from the University of Sydney Matilda Center, who led the study. Investments to address childhood maltreatments have the potential to avert millions of cases of mental disorders in Australia. And I'm sure you can relate that if our families had more money, our parents wouldn't be so abusive or under the gun to provide when life sucks everywhere, right? The analysis also found that its childhood maltreatment was eradicated. The analysis also found that if childhood maltreatment was eradicated in Australia, more than 1.8 million cases of depression, anxiety, and substance use disorders could be prevented. And that would be amazing if the world would come together for this. The study also found the elimination of childhood maltreatment in Australia would in 2023 have prevented 66,143 years of life lost in death, and 118,493 years lives lived with disabilities, totaling 184,636 years of healthy life lost through mental health conditions. Researchers examined data that included national surveys provided by the Australian Child Maltreatment Study in 2023. 8,500 participants. The Australian National Study of Mental Health and Wellbeing 2020 through 2023. 15,893 participants, and the Australian burden of disease study in 2023. A study made use of analytical methods to investigate the link between childhood maltreatment and mental health, which isolated other influential factors such as genetics or social environments. This provides stronger evidence that childhood maltreatment causes some mental health conditions. It sure did. All right. So global and national content. Mental health conditions are currently the leading cause of disease burden globally and affects 13% of the global population. In Australia, self-deletion is the leading cause of death for young people. Previous research, independent of the University of Sydney study, found over half, 53.8% of Australians experienced maltreatment during their childhood. That's a big number. Okay, so there's a lot of people who are trying to not think and not deal with your past, and that is exactly what you need to do. I will give you some advice. If you want to start the road down recovery, start journaling. All right, let the thoughts come through and write them down. Get them out of your head, cry it out, sob it out. Okay, that's my advice, because that's how I started. It wasn't easy, it wasn't the best experience, but it had to be done. This is a you thing, okay? This is a you thing. You're going to have to take charge of the changes you want in your life, okay? I did it. If I can do it, you can do it, all right? Subscribe, listen to this YouTube channel, because there's going to be a lot of great things that are going to bring into this channel to help people, because we all need help with our brain pan, right? So Dr. Grumit said there are effective interventions such as programs for support children or to support children experiencing maltreatment, or parent education programs. But the most sustainable solution to preventing childhood maltreatment is policy-driven prevention. Policies to alleviate stress experienced by families, such as paid parental leave, affordable childcare, income support like job seekers, and making sure parents have access to treatments and support for their own mental health could make a world of difference for Australian children and children around the world. Addressing the societal and economical conditions that give rise to child maltreatment can play a large part in preventing mental disorders at the national level, the doctor said. The researchers cite an example in the United States where the introduction of state-paid parental leave policies and timely access to subsidized childcare were strongly linked to reduced rates of child maltreatment. References to burden of mental disorder and self-deletion attributable to childhood maltreatment. There it is. Okay, so this is going to be a short video because I want you to understand that you are not alone. Okay, I went through this. Your friends probably went through this. And depending on where you are, you know a lot of people that went through this. You are not alone. You are worthy of loving yourself. You deserve to buy yourself things. If you're doing drugs and if you're going out there and passing yourself around, whether you're a man or a woman, you are not loving yourself, okay? You're looking for other things, places, people, and things to provide that love for you. And guess what? It never worked for me, and it's never gonna work for you. So again, start journaling, start dealing with your past, and come here to this channel so you can get informed about how you can gain freedom from your past. This is Mario with Let's Talk About It, and I will see you in a later video.